NBC News, CIA says Havana syndrome not result of sustained campaign by hostile power.
What?
Okay,
No.
like now I believe in Havana syndrome. But okay, like this is interesting because this is an NBC News article written by Ken Delanian, who I know we've covered on the show before, and he is a little CIA media catspaw. He's
Right.
like he's their mouthpiece in like national security reporting or like any reporting about the CIA. He's their go-to guy. So I'm just gonna read like the beginning of this article here. It says, in a new intelligence assessment, the CIA has ruled out that the mysterious symptoms known as Havana syndrome are the result of a sustained global campaign by a hostile power aimed at hundreds of U.S. diplomats and spies. 6 people briefed on the matter told NBC News. In about 24 cases, the agency cannot rule out foreign involvement, including many of the cases that originated at the U.S. Embassy in Havana beginning in 2016. Another group of cases is considered unresolved, but in hundreds of other cases of possible symptoms, the agency has found plausible alternative explanations.
Like
Sources-
crickets, which is apparently most of them.
The CIA declined to comment. The idea that widespread brain injury symptoms have been caused by Russia or another foreign power targeting Americans around the world, either to harm them or to collect intelligence, has been deemed unfounded, the sources said. People who have experienced possible Havana syndrome symptoms and have been briefed on the assessment have expressed deep disappointment, the sources said. Some have pointed out that the CIA's findings are considered an interim assessment and that they were not coordinated with other agencies, including the Defense Department. CIA just kind of struck out on their own, a person briefed on the findings said. In a statement, a group that represents U.S. officials who have been reported suspected incidents said the CIA's newly issued report may be labeled interim and it may leave open the door for some alternative explanation in some cases. But to scores of dedicated public servants, their families, and their colleagues, it has a ring of finality and repudiation.
Oh my
So-
God, their lived experience is being discarded.
Okay, so there's a couple things to talk about here. Like, what do you think is going on here? That like the CIA through their approved media mouthpiece is saying, yeah, this is bullshit. We got nothing on it. They're making it up.
Well,
When they didn't say they're making it up, but they said like the idea that is the sci-fi weapons of which there's no evidence for ever existing are being used to like cook the
right.
brains.
Which is
of,
the thing we already knew. I
Yeah.
mean, like that's the deal. Like this was
So, like,
not anything.
why-
that
why
could
do you
have been
think, though,
said
like,
at any
let me-
point for the last couple of years?
I have my theory, but let me ask you guys, like, why do you think the CIA is giving up the ghost on Havana syndrome? And the CIA specifically because, like, as alluded to in the article, like, these other intelligence agencies feel like they're left out in the cold, and they're like, oh, all our employees, like, we stand with Havana syndrome sufferers.
My first guess is because, I mean, anyone could have said as soon as they validated it and say this is a real thing and people are getting it, everyone could have said, oh, that means more people are going to say they have it. And
Yeah.
then that's exactly what happened. And maybe they got to the point where like nobody was even answering the phone. because
Exactly.
Everybody was
Exactly.
in their awful condos in Tyson
Yes.
Corner rolling around.
No,
going,
no,
I've got
Matt,
that syndrome.
tell me yours. You hit the nail on the head, and we didn't talk about this before, but like I think what's really going on here is essentially the same thing as like Biden and the CDC being like, yeah, if you feel, just stay home for the weekend, but come to work on Monday, it's
Right, yeah.
fine. Like, you know, you don't need to quarantine for 2 weeks anymore.
Right, yeah.
Like, just get back to work.
Yep.
Got to get back to work. Got to get people back in the offices.
Yep.
And I think this is the CIA's version of that. Like, they're trying to start a war with Russia right now.
Right.
And all their employees are like, I have Havana syndrome. I need to work remote. I need to stay home. I can't go into I can't go into the psyops department at Langley anymore because
Yeah.
it's just I'm scared of the radiation that's everywhere. They're all like Michael McKean and Better Call Saul. So I think the CIA being
Yeah.
like, enough of this bullshit. You got to come into the office. You got to get back to work. We're going to war with Russia.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get in touch with my handler in like 3 months, and they always just have the going away message, and it's just about having the courage to live your truth. And it's like that's not good.
I have sympathy for them. You know, as a great man once said, work sucks, I know. But like there's a religion where you seem to get a bunch of 3-day weekends that you could convert to. You don't have to pretend to be sick. Look at what you did. You annoyed everyone. You annoyed everyone so much to the point that they're having to use the news like an intercompany newsletter. Look how
that's
annoying
why
you're
Ken
being.
Delanian has the byline
Yeah.
on this piece. So, like-
Literally, yeah. No, he's like the head of HR.
It's like, all right, everybody, come on.
And you could have just been Jewish.
Take
You could-
some Pedialyte and get back to work.
Yeah, you could have just been Jewish, and you could have been like, "Oh, I have Sukkot." Like I can't come to work today.
And you would have had the
everyone would be
exact
like, okay,
same number of health conditions and strange
Right.
maladies that you would take you out of work too.
dude, we love taking medicine. Okay, you
That's
could have
true.
taken all the medicine you wanted, but you had to irritate everyone in the world. Like the guy, there's like a bald guy who like this is like trite by now, but like he does literally just look like a soy jack. And his thing was being like the Aaron Brockovich of Havana syndrome in the CIA, and they're like, no, they're it's a cover up. They're not admitting that we have it, and it's like, how do you keep doing that after Congress unanimously passes a law saying that your fake illness is real?
That's the other thing. It's like they already got the money.
Yeah, they already got
Like-
the healthcare.
Healthcare. Hey, this MRI spends good no matter what.
I think it's the same thing with like commercial real estate. Langley is just like, we have this big ass building, and all these fucking all our bitch ass employees are just like, I can't leave the house. I need to be remote.
The on-site Panera has
Yes.
seen a cratering of its revenue. They're gonna sue us for breach of contract.
I mean, like, and there's also the possibility that like they're leaking this now because there's a more damning revelation coming that's going to be leaked to someone who's the cat's paw of another intelligence agency. I mean, like
Wheels within wheels.
I'm just going to skip to the end of this news piece. It says, still the report marks a significant change of tone from the Biden administration, which has made a point of demonstrating that it is taking the incidents more seriously than the Trump administration did and has repeatedly emphasized the need to take victims seriously. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, in comments on MSNBC last week, recalled having met with State Department employees who have come forward reporting incidents. I've heard them. I've listened to them. You can't help but be struck by how these incidents disrupted their lives and their well-being, Blinken said. We're doing everything we can to care for them. I love like what a bullshit statement that is. Like, you can't help but be struck by how these incidents disrupted their lives and well-being. I mean, he's not really saying like, oh, like we can't help but be struck about how they're all of them were warped by an invisible death ray.
No.
But he's just like, I heard them and they really
They're
are
valid.
upset. They
Yeah,
really
they're
are.
sad.
Yeah, they're sad.
Their
They're very
tummies
upset.
Genuinely hurt.
Yeah, he's really coming off like an administrator at Oberlin here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no,
Sorry
no,
about the
yeah.
bond me.
Yeah.
We will do better.
Ramen
We hear
day.
how upset you are.
Yeah, ramen day in the cafeteria was a painful time for everyone. Yeah.
I do think though, if I don't think this is the last we've heard of Havana syndrome,
No.
especially if we do go to war with Russia over the Ukraine. I feel like afterwards, Havana syndrome is going to be like the sinking of the Lusitania to like explain why the hell we did that idiotic thing
Yeah.
to fight with fucking Russia over fucking Ukraine. It's like, no, they were microwaving the brains of our precious operators.
Yeah.
Not even our operators, though. Like
No, they're all
the
operators.
office
No,
operators.
those are
These
operators.
yeah.
If you have a lanyard and you have a clearance, you're an operator because you are in the shadow war.
Yeah.
You're fighting in the mindscape in space.
You know, some guys they fight with a gun. Some guys are email warriors. That's kind of scarier because you can, if you're a veteran, you don't have to be around guns your entire life, right? You probably are for just whatever reason, because like, what else are you gonna do? You made the government give you a dog so you don't scare your wife. You did all this shit, but you can't stop emailing.
Can't
No.
stop emailing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Overeaters Anonymous. Like that's a tough one because you can't go cold turkey.
Yeah,
just-
and there's gonna be. I bet there's like a Chris Kyle, this guy. He sent the most emails, got the most.
It's got the most replies to
Yeah,
the
he
email.
got the most kills from those emails. Yeah.
He even would email people he didn't even have to just so that he could get the record for most emails.
yeah.
He would. He has several elementary school age pen pals that he emailed as well.
He went to the East Coast after Hurricane Sandy and was just freelance, like emailing people, emailing looters.
Yep.
And he's gonna die, you know, because he's gonna take like a group of other
Traumatized
CIA
email people.
and be like, we're going to the range to get to inbox 0. And one of them just he's gonna freak out. A guy with carpal tunnel syndrome.
No,
gonna
it's
freak
like
out.
a guy with carpal tunnel syndrome will hear the Slack update noise and then just freak out and shoot 6 people.
Yeah. They'll be like, goodbye, American emailer. We love you.
American emailer. Just last paragraph of this NBC news report. It says here, U.S. officials said the CIA report does not change the Biden administration's broader approach to Havana syndrome. including the emphasis on eliminating stigma, encouraging employees with suspected incidents to come forward,
No,
and
don't
ensuring
do that.
proper medical care for those affected. Okay, well, they got the health care. I think, but like, I think this is cap. This is all about, they're like, we're like actively doing the opposite of encouraging you to
Yeah.
come forward. We've removed the stigma. We've given you the bullshit healthcare that no one else
Now
has
get
in
back to
America.
fucking work.
Yeah, just get back to fucking work. Do your goddamn jobs.
Yeah. I have to say, now that I know that they're removing the stigma, I will start paying my taxes again. That's what was keeping me from doing it.